Top 10 fun facts about the Philippines that will blow your mind. Before your trip to Manila, don't forget to grab your camera and watch this video. The Philippines is a vibrant place full of beauty and fun, rich history and great food. Here are fun facts to get you excited about exploring this amazing country. This video brought to you by Top 10 Best Facts channel, that will showcase all the best among the best facts, more facts about all the amazing, unique, and the best of everything the world can offer. 1. The islands were dubbed the Philippines after King Philip II of Spain. The Philippines were claimed in the name of Spain in 1521 by Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer sailing for Spain, who named the islands after King Philip II of Spain. They were then called Las Filipinas. The US then fought Spain during the Spanish-American War and took possession of the Philippines, which prompted the Philippine-American War that took place from 1899 to 1902. 2. The Rice Terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras are a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The terraces were built about 2,000 years ago and, thanks to the rough terrain keeping settlers out, remain as they would have been in pre-colonial times. Banawe Rice Terraces, system of irrigated rice terraces in the mountains of north-central Luzon. Although located in several villages, they are collectively known as the Banawe Rice Terraces. The journey from Manila to Banawe takes about 9 hours by bus. Traffic can add about 2 hours. With the new roads and highways are built, traveling time will be shortened. The other option is to fly to Baguio and then take a bus from there, but it doesn't save much time. The buses are operated by a few companies and the most well-known is called Haiyan Transit. 3. The Puerto Princesa subterranean river in Palawan is 8.2 kilometers long. Until the discovery of a 10-kilometer underground river in Mexico, the Puerto Princesa River was the longest subterranean waterway in the world. As with a lot of popular Philippine destinations, Puerto Princesa Underground River is busy with tourists. In Palawan, it's easy to find less crowded beaches where you can spend some time alone in the serenity this place has to offer. Those of you who have not seen an underground river before, we recommend to go and see it with North Hope Tours. 4. The Philippine archipelago is bounded by the Philippine Sea to the east, the Celebes Sea to the south, the Sulu Sea to the southwest, and the South China Sea to the west and north. The Philippine coastline adds up to 17,500 km. 3 prominent bodies of water surround the archipelago: the Pacific Ocean on the east, the South China Sea on the west and north, and the Celebes Sea on the south. This puts the Philippines at 5th place for the longest continuous coastline in the world. 5. More than 52 million people in the Philippines speak English, making it the 5th largest English-speaking nation behind the US, India, Pakistan, and the UK. The reasons why Filipinos speak English so well: because of American influence on the education system. They introduced a free education system and even sent teachers from America to help spread the language and made all teachers speak English in school. 6. The Philippines has maintained multiple languages because of the Philippines has 7,107 islands. Resistance of the Spanish colonizers to promote a lingua franca as a form of divide and conquer approach. Depending on the method of classification, there are 125 to 170 languages in use in the Philippines, such as Tagalog, Cebuano, Ilocano, Hiligaynon, Bicolano, Waray, Tausug, Chavacano from the south and Kapampangan. 7. Taal Volcano in Talisay, Batangas, is one of the world's 17-decade volcanoes, volcanoes that need to be looked after given their active state and explosive history. It's also located in a lake, and has a lake inside it, with an even smaller island in it. Taal Volcano is a large caldera filled by Taal Lake in the Philippines. Located in the province of Batangas, the volcano is one of the most active volcanoes in the country, with 34 recorded historical eruptions, all of which were concentrated on Volcano Island, near the middle of Taal Lake. On January 2020, Taal Volcano erupted for the first time in more than 4 decades. 8. The Philippines welcomed its 100 millionth citizen on July 2014. making the country the 7th most populated country in Asia and the 12th in the world. The Philippines welcomed its 100 millionth citizen, a baby girl named Shonalyn who was born at a hospital in the capital, Manila. But the celebration is mixed with concern in the Philippines. A predominantly Catholic country with Muslim as minority, it is one of the fastest growing populations in Asia. 9. The Philippines' fertile land accounts for the more than 900 species of orchids representing 100 genera that have been found. There are about 141 genera of orchids representing about 1,100 orchid species, 900 of which are described as endemic to the Philippines. Many of them have showy, brightly colored and attractive flowers. The national flower Sampaguita symbolizes purity, simplicity, humility and strength. Declared as the national flower by government. The tiny flowers display their purity in the evening when the flower buds begin to open at dusk. 10. Manila, the capital city of the country, takes its name from a white flower that grew on mangrove trees, locally known as nilad. May nilad can be translated to mean, there are nilad there. The city is the center of the country's economic, political, social, and cultural activity. It is located on the island of Luzon and spreads along the eastern shore of Manila Bay at the mouth of the Pasig River. More facts and interesting thing that is known or proved to be true. Facts: 1. The world's largest Christmas lantern was illuminated in San Fernando, Pampanga on December 24, 2002. The structure was 26.8 meters in diameter and cost 5 million Philippine pesos. This lantern is made of translucent Kappa's shells. Modern Kappa's lanterns has more intricate designs and colorful dancing lights attached to it. It is believed that a man named Francisco Estanislao was the first person to create a parole in 1908. Facts: 2. Top 10 of the largest shopping malls in the world. 3 are found in the Philippines: SM Megamall, SM North EDSA, and SM Mall of Asia. 10 shopping malls rank as the world's largest, based on the amount of gross leasable area, the number of square feet the property has for revenue-generating activities like retail, dining and amusements. Filipinos love going to mall, whether to shop, dine, watch movies or just have fun roaming around. That is why it's not surprising that 3 of the 10 largest malls in the world are found in the Philippines. Facts: 3 Pinatubo eruption, Mount Pinatubo at daybreak on June 15, 1991, a few minutes after the start of the climactic eruption. The eruption sent up a cloudy plume that reached some 25 miles, 40 kilometers, high into the air. The effects of the Mount Pinatubo's destructive eruption were felt throughout the whole world after it emitted around 10 million tons of magma and 20 million tons of toxic sulfur dioxide. Due to the vast amount of ashes infused into the atmosphere, the global temperature dropped by 1 degree Fahrenheit over the following months and year. Facts: 4 Two of the largest naval battles in history were fought in the Philippine Seas. The Battle of Philippine Sea is considered as the largest aircraft carrier battle in history. The standoff between the U.S. Navy and the Japanese Empire Navy involved 15 U.S. fleet and light carriers, 9 Japanese carriers, 170 other warships and about 1,700 aircraft. The U.S. Fifth Fleet's Task Force 58 that took action during the battle is also considered by historians as the largest single naval formation ever to give a battle. Battleship Yamato, the Imperial Japanese battleship Yamato during sea trials in October 1941. The Battle of the Philippine Sea, June 19–20, 1944, and the Battle of Leyte Gulf, October 23–26, 1944, both hold a mind-blowing record for being the largest naval battle in history for some criteria. The Battle of Leyte Gulf was a clash of naval prowess between the US 3rd and 7th Fleets, assisted by the Australian Royal Navy, and the Japanese Imperial Navy during the World War II. The combined forces of the United States 3rd and 7th Fleets and some Australian warships included 8 large aircraft carriers, 8 light carriers, 12 battleships, 18 escort carriers, 24 cruisers, 141 destroyers and destroyer escorts, several other ships, and some 1,500 aircraft. The Allied forces came out victorious against the Japanese forces. which comprised of 4 aircraft carriers, 9 battleships, 19 cruisers, 34 destroyers and hundreds of aircraft. Facts 5. There's an islet in the Philippines within a lake on an island within a lake on an island. Taal Volcano. In the Philippines, there's an islet, Volcanic Point, within a lake, main crater of Taal Volcano, on an island, Volcano Island, within a lake, Taal Lake, on an island, Luzon. The Volcanic Point is an islet inside the crater lake, known as the main crater lake, of Taal Volcano, the smallest active volcano in the world. The Volcanic Point is also considered as the world's largest island within a lake on an island in a lake on an island. The islet was formed when the deposits of the huge eruption that occurred in 1911 extensively changed the floor of the main crater. Fact 6. The Philippine flag during the period of peace, left, and during a state of war, right. The national flag of the Philippines can be inverted to officially declare a state of war. The Philippine national flag is the only flag which may be reversed when the country is in the state of war. The flag's design is a horizontal bicolor of blue and red, with a white equilateral triangle at the hoist, containing 3 golden yellow stars and a sun with 8 primary rays at the center. Fact 7. The 3 largest known pearls in the world were found in the Philippines. The Pearl of Lao Su, also known as Pearl of Allah, is the largest known pearl in the world. It was found in Brooks Point, Palawan by a Filipino diver in 1934. The pearl, which measures 9.45 inches in diameter and weighs 6.4 kilograms, 14 pounds, is a clam pearl, or tridacna pearl, from a giant clam Tridacna gigas. The pearl was appraised by gemologist Michael Steenrod in Colorado Springs at $60 million in 1982 and $93 million in 2007. The Palawan Princesa, considered as the world's second largest pearl, was also discovered off the coast of Palawan Island. The pearl weighs 2.27 kilograms, 5 pounds, and was put on auction by Bonhams and Butterfields of Los Angeles on December 6, 2009. Although the 5-pound pearl have an estimated worth of $300,000 to $400,000, it was not sold. Though the Pearl of Lao Su is currently the officially recognized largest pearl ever discovered, the Pearl of the King, owned by Richard King, chairman of the Crown Regency Hotel, is said to be bigger, measuring at 18 inches in diameter and weighing 9 kilograms. The Pearl of the King was also discovered off the Philippine waters and is now exhibited at the Crown Regency Hotels and Resorts in Boracay. Fact 7. During Manny Pacquiao boxing fights, the crime rate in the Philippines almost drops to 0. Manny Pacquiao, the whole country would virtually stand still during Manny Pacquiao's boxing fights. During his latest 12-round fight against the undefeated American boxer Floyd Mayweather Jr., the Philippine National Police (PNP) recorded no crime at all in Metro Manila, though there were a few recorded in other parts of the country. This was not the first time. Same was declared during his fights against other great boxers such as Chris Alguerri in 2014 and the Mexican boxer Juan Manuel Marquez both in 2008 and 2011. There had also been a remarkable drop of crime rates during other major fights of the Filipino boxing champion. Facts 8. Super Typhoon Haiyan has the strongest wind ever recorded at landfall. Typhoon Haiyan at peak intensity and approaching the Philippines on November 7, 2013. Who would forget the havoc endured by the central part of the Philippines from Typhoon Yolanda, Haiyan, which meteorologists considered as one of the strongest tropical cyclones ever to hit Southeast Asia. It is the deadliest typhoon in the Philippines ever recorded in modern history, killing at least 6,100 people according to the Philippine government. Facts 9. Kamagu has the most number of volcanoes per square kilometer than any other island on Earth. Despite of the fact that it is one of the smallest islands in the Philippines in area and population, having a length of only 23 kilometers and width of a little more than 14 kilometers, it has 7 volcanoes which were mostly responsible for the island's formation. Kamagu Province is also the only place in the Philippines which has more volcanoes, 7, than towns, 5. Facts 10. The Philippines is the largest exporter of nurses worldwide. For many decades, The country has consistently supplied nurses to the United States and Saudi Arabia and around the world. In recent years, other markets have emerged and opened for nurses, including the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Ireland. Shout out to all the nurses in the Philippines and around the world. Shout out to Kyle Jennerman, known as Kulas, the Canadian Cagayanon and the man behind Becoming Filipino, has finally revealed the love of his life, Cindy. Cindy is a scooter who has been with Kyle in his journey of exploring Cagayan de Oro and northern Mindanao. Hoping for a proposal soon. Shout out to Mike and Nelly from Austria. Travel vloggers Mike Holashka and Nelly Awanik are popularly known on the vlogosphere as the duo behind making it happen. With their mutual love for travel, the Austrian couple met via a local social media platform back home. They fell in love, and made it their mission to travel the world together. They've been documenting their adventures since, flying to nearby countries until they eventually decided to go farther and head to Southeast Asia 2 years ago. Congratulations on your engagement and for the upcoming wedding. Shout out to British vloggers George Warrington and Lucy D'Agostino of The Juicy Vlog, talk about food, culture, and spending quarantine season in the Philippines. Pinoys at heart. We Filipinos have a knack for spotting Pinoys at heart, people who may not necessarily have been born as Filipinos but have grown to love the country and its culture as their second home. Watching to George and Lucy and their vlogs, one gets a sense of joy at their appreciation for all things Filipino. Except for balut, which George still is not convinced that he should eat. Shout out Basil Manadil, also known as the Hungry Syrian Wanderer, is a Syrian vlogger and content creator, noted for his positive views on the Philippines and work to provide aid to victims of natural disasters. He settled in the Philippines for almost a decade. Shout out to other vlogger Matt Gibson of Expat Matt. Ivana and Gianni of Nomad is Beautiful. Sabrina Lavino of Just One Way Ticket. Clelia Matten of Keep Calm and Travel. Alexandra Barks of Alex in Wonderland. Hannah and Adam of Getting Stamped. Jonathan of Two Monkeys Travel. And others. I might not be able to mention them one by one, but there are a lot of them out there. These are some of the foreign national who fell in love with the Philippines and made it as their second home. Videos about them will be out next month about all of them. More and more Filipinos have married a foreign national who are settled in the Philippines. Do you know other vlogger in the Philippines? Comment down below. Earthquakes and volcanic eruptions shaped this beautiful little island and made it one of the most visited islands in the Philippines by tourists from all over the world. Although it has faced and have been captured by stronger natural calamities, political turmoil in the past and the pandemic which the whole world is facing, it has remained to be resilient. Our country never ceases to amaze me, and there is a lot more about the Philippines that most people don't know. There are many more funny and fascinating facts about the Philippines, that you know. Comment down below. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. See you on my next video. Mabuhay.